Hi friends, welcome to episode 78 of the Quirky Monday Craftcast. My name is Kalisha and you can find me anywhere online as Nadiratani. Thank you so much for coming to spend some time with me today. Today is Thursday, March 28th, and of course I'm coming to you from my home in Central Florida. Heads up, the lighting is going to go in and out because it's kind of one of those partly cloudy days where right now we're good because there's a rather large cloud over the sun, but the lighting will be changing. Anyway, if you're a new viewer, welcome. I hope you enjoy your time here. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. Glad to spend some more time with you. And that is everything for the welcomes and the good hellos. I don't think we have anything for admin. Nope. We just ended the Pisces season make-along in the last episode, and all of the winners have gotten in touch with me. So my goal is to have all of the prizes mailed out by Friday, which is the day you're watching this, if you're watching it when it first comes up. If not by Friday, then by the beginning of next week. So let's get into the crafting. There was something that I wanted to share. Instead of doing the bright spot segment that I've been doing for the last couple of episodes, I did want to share one comment that I received last week. If you're new, the bright spot segment is a segment of the Craftcast where I share the positive things that have been happening to you guys that you leave in the comments. So let me pull up that comment I wanted to share. Okay, so here's the comment. Now, because the viewer did not say that it was a shareable comment, I'm not going to call their name. I'm also not going to read out the entire comment. And they were basically responding to the refuse to sink sentiment that I was kind of talking about last week. If you didn't watch last week's episode, I was basically saying how I was feeling, I was kind of, experiencing a downswing, as I do. And in those times, it feels like I'm like treading water, right? And I was saying sometimes when you're treading water, you get so tired, you feel like you can't do it anymore. But if you stop, then you'll sink and there may not be anybody to reach in and pull you out. And so I was like, you just have to keep fighting through. So this is what they were responding to. And they said, I find on my treading days that I can realize I can roll over on my back and float. The view is much better for me when that happens. And just that sentiment or that statement, on my treading days, I realize that I can roll over on my back and float, and the view is much better when that happens. That just kind of blew my mind a little bit. And just, so this is what it said to me. It said to me that in those times when I am getting overwhelmed by whatever the emotion is, if it's anxiety or depression or just a general downswing or something crappy happened or anything like that, and I feel like it's pulling me down and I'm struggling to keep my head above the water, that if I basically give up my power, I give up my action of treading the water and fighting that, and just look up and relax and float and keep my eyes up. Y'all, I don't know if this person knew that they were preaching to you, girl, but man, it just, that really spoke to me. And it just made me feel like, Kalisha, as much as you do look to God, as much as you know that God is there to help you, that he wants the best for you, and like he wants you to just be like, bruh, stop fighting and look at me. Like, I sometimes forget that, and I forget that in the little times, like in the beginning times, like when I'm feeling the downswing coming, and I'm like, all right, let me, stretch and get my arms right and get my legs right, because I know I'm about to be treading this emotional water. That's the point at the very beginning that I should be like, hold on, pump the brakes. Let me just relax, give it to God, and just keep my eyes up. Man, when I read that, and I had just been like mulling over it, like just thinking about that, and I was like, man, I really like, it brought to mind this song. I think it's by Jessica Battistelli, and the song is Strangely Dim. The chorus says, when I fix my eyes on all that you are, every doubt I feel deep in my heart grows strangely dim. All my worries fade and fall to the ground, 'cause when I seek your face and don't look around, any place I'm in grows strangely, strangely dim. And I was listening to that song last night, and I was just like, man, Jesus, like, help me to keep this in the forefront of my mind. Because, like, as somebody who deals with these ups and downs a lot, like, when I start, like, feeling that downswing, like, when I'm, like, walking along, minding my own business, and here come that melancholy up over my shoulder, the moment that I feel that, I need to say, let me keep my eyes on Jesus. Let me look up. Let me, relinquish all of this power that I think I have, and just float and just keep my eyes on God. Let him carry me through. Like, y'all. So I would like to thank that viewer, you know who you are, for sharing that statement. And like I said, I don't know if you knew that you was going to be preaching to me today, but you are. And I hope that you listening to this, like you guys listening to this and watching this, find hope in that. And I also know that everybody's not Christian. Everybody doesn't have the same religious views as me. Everybody doesn't have religious views. But for me, this is a restatement of the hope and the faith that I have in God. And whatever that entity or whatever that concept is that governs your life, I hope that this statement is one that can, like, give you hope in that. So yes, I'm gonna link the song Strangely Dim down below, because it's a really beautiful song, and I was listening to it last night. I was just having my own little praise break, like, Lord, help me to remember when I have these swings, when I feel like everything is swallowing me up, when I feel like I'm tired of treading water, I'm tired of trying, I'm tired of fighting, when I feel like anxiety is eating me, when I get in these places, when I see that I'm headed toward these places, when I open my eyes and realize that I'm in these places, help me to roll over on my back and just float. That is my prayer today. And if you are the same type as me, that is my prayer for you as well. Kalisha steps down off of her soapbox. Okay, guys, so let's get into some crafty things. So I tried to film this episode yesterday. It didn't work because the wind was being so rowdy, y'all. Like, I was about to be blown away. I was about to be blown all the way away. But the benefit in filming a day later than planned is I have a new finished object. So the first finished object that I want to show you, where did I even put it? Here it is. I think in last episode I was talking about how I signed up for these classes at my library, these sewing classes, because our library, excuse me, our main branch library, like the big one in downtown Orlando, has a sewing studio. And in the sewing studio, they have sewing machines and sergers and embroidery machines and like all this other stuff. And I wanted to learn to do the embroidery machine. So I signed up for the class, and I took that class on this past Monday. And it was pretty awesome. I ended up taking the class. The class was at 10, and it was a 2-hour class. So I was in there. We did the class, and then right after the class, they had like I think it was like an hour and a half break, and then they had what was called Open Sewing Lab, which is basically once you take the orientation classes for the machines, you can come in during open sewing and use the machines. So after I did the class, I went to Joann's to pick up like the machine embroidery thread, the stabilizer, like all of those supplies that you have to have with you. And I was like, I'm about to master this machine. Like, let me go in there, let me practice, let me get some more, you know, familiarize myself with the machine more. So that's what I did. And well, I guess I'll show you. Is this a finished object? I don't know. I'm going to show it to you anyway. So this is what I made in the class. The @ symbol, like the teacher was had us all open up this @ symbol, like to learn how to open a file and to put it on the program, and then we were supposed to type our name. But of course, you know, being the Instagram person I am, I was like, why would I put like @Kalisha when I could put @Nadira Tani, and that's actually my Instagram handle, right? Makes sense to me. So that's what I did. That's what it looks like. This break right here is because my thread broke like 7 times. Nobody else's thread was breaking, just mine. And like the teacher couldn't figure out what was going on because everything was set up right. I went through the troubleshooting in the manual, so nothing should have been happening. Like the thread shouldn't have been breaking. Come to find out later that I didn't have the right kind of thread in the machine, which was a little bit confusing because that was one of the first things I checked, and the thread said machine embroidery thread. So I don't know what the deal was. It's fine. Whatever. I struggled through. I am now an expert in threading that machine. Not that it's hard or anything, but I have had lots of practice. So this was the first thing that I made in that class. I'm very proud of myself. So after I did that, I went and I got my supplies from Joann's, and I came back and I was like, I'm about to make something. And this is what I made. I did this embroidery and radiate positivity always, because y'all know that's me. Radiate was my word of the year for last year. And still kind of feels like that's my word of the year for this year. Even though my word of the year for this year is heartsome, which basically means things that are good for yourself. Like last year, I wanted to radiate like positivity and goodness out to other people. This year, I want to do that, like radiate that positivity in towards myself. And heartsome pretty much means that. But whenever I think of like something, like a word that is embodying, that I am embodying in my actions, it always comes back to radiate. So I'm sorry, Hardsome. I think it's radiate part 2. So yes. So I made a drawstring bag. And it's not interfaced because this was just like random fabric, like random white fabric that I got from Joann's. So instead of using interfacing, I did 2 layers of fabric for the front, for the like outside fabric, and then 1 layer for the lining, because it's completely lined. Y'all can't really tell because it's white, but it's completely lined. Yeah, I braided yarn together for the pulls, and yeah, this was the first embroidery design that I did after learning the machine. So I was like super proud of myself. Like, one of the girls from the class had stayed back to do the open sew with me, and she was like, wow, where did you find that leaf pattern? I was like, I just was clicking all the buttons and I found a design, what was it called? A design library that has different graphics and stuff. So yeah, the next class that I'm going to take, I think it's in like a month or a month and a half, is, oh no, it's in like 2 weeks. It is the embroidery design class, where you learn to create your own designs to put them into the program and have the machine sew them. So I need to really get my life together and create a Quirky Monday logo. Yeah, but it is a little bit off center, as you can tell, like, but I think it's really good for like my very first machine embroidered project, right? Thumbs up for me. My next 2 finished objects, actually all of my finished objects are sewing things. So my next one is the lounge pants that I made. Oh, everything's falling out. Last week I showed this fabric, the Constellation fabric. Put it over here. And I said that I wanted to make lounge pants. And I was like, I have 2 yards. The pattern that I have says you need like 2.5 yards, but it'll be fine. I'm sure I can like finagle it. No. If the pattern says 2.5 yards, that is the minimum that you need to do the thing. So I do not have lounge pants. I have lounge capris. I will put in a picture of how they fit. Now, I have been wearing them. I've been sleeping in them, like chilling out in the house in them, and I really like them. The only thing that I don't like is how long the crotch is. And is this the front of the back? This is the back. I need to put a label in here because I don't be knowing which is the front and the back. So here are the pants, right? How can I show this to you best? This is the crotch all the way, get up there, all the way down here. That's like a foot of space. Now, there is probably that much extra space, like from, there's like this much extra space in the crotch of these pants. Like, it's so baggy. So what I'm gonna do, I still have the colorful sheep fabric that I'm gonna do. What I want to do with that one is shorten the crotch, like not the crotch, the rise. So from the waist down to like the crotch of the pants, I'm gonna shorten it probably by 3-4 inches, so that they're like more fitted and it's not just all breezy through the crotch of these pants. But I really like them. It's really comfortable. The fabric is great. thumbs up, 10 out of 10, do recommend. This is the pattern that I used. It's Butterick B5432. Oh, hello. Is the sun over here? Oh, the sun is everywhere. There we go. So that's what it looks like. And I wanted to make the, hello? Get it together. Sorry, guys. There we go. I wanted to make these, but I ended up making these, which is fine. I mean, Florida. It's Florida. So, meh. So I think for the sheep fabric, I'm probably going to make this. So like the little tank top and the shorts. I think I should have enough for the tank top and the shorts. It's top A. Yeah. Ooh, I'll have just enough. So I'm going to make the tank top and the shorts out of the sheepy fabric. And yeah. And then I think I will be like a professional at this pattern. Yeah, so definitely with the shorts, I'm gonna want to like shorten that that rise, because if I leave it where they are, there's gonna be like this much pant, like after the split, there's gonna be like this much pant and like this much extra foolishness. So that should be an adventure. Wish me luck. So that is finished object number 2. The next finished object I can't show you because it's a pair of curtains. So in our bedroom, we had these like fake curtains, not curtains, blinds, but they were like the paper, like the cheap paper ones, because like why not? And they fell down, and I was like, oh, I'll make curtains for that. And I just kept putting it off and putting it off until the other day I was like, you know what? That's it. I'm doing it. Making these curtains. I went to Walmart. I got one of those tension rods to put up in the window. And I went to the thrift store, and my initial plan was to go to the thrift store and find a curtain to put in the window. Couldn't find any, so I found a sheet. And I made curtains out of a sheet. So I'll put in a picture of the curtains. And I'm really proud of them. Like, not that it was really hard to do, because literally all I did was, I think it was like a twin size sheet. Yeah, it's like twin. I cut it up the middle. And then the side that I cut, I hemmed. So I folded it in probably like ½ an inch. And then I sewed down that side. And then the top edge, I folded down to make the little sleeve that the tension rod goes through. So I sewed that. And ta-da! Put it on there. Now we have beautiful white curtains. They're not too thick to like stop the sun from coming in, but they're not too thin that you can just like see people moving behind it. So I'm really, really proud of them. Because our room is on the sunrise side of the house. Like the house is, whatever. In the morning, the sun comes directly in our window. And with the white curtains, like the light that comes in is diffused and beautiful and peaceful, and makes me just want to stay in the bed and just lay in the sunlight. But yes, so those are all of my finished objects. We'll jump into works in progress. I'm getting a little hot. I guess I could tell you guys what I'm wearing. This is a crocheted sweater that I made last year, I think. It's completely like freestyled. It has raglan increases, just regular double crochet. I made it out of mandala Lion Brand Mandala in the Genie colorway, I think it is. And if y'all have used mandala before, you know that the colorways are the same, but the way that they're wrapped in the ball is not. So it's kind of hard to find like actual matching ball of mandala. So I had one that I used for the body, and I was going to continue the sleeve with the rest of the body one, but then I didn't want like because this one ends, I just had a little bit of the light mint left. So I decided to go to Walmart and find 2 balls of the mandala yarn that both had the full section of the light mint, and so that I could have matching sleeves. Because at first I was like, it's gonna be fine if the sleeves don't match, I don't care. And then I was just like, no, we do care. Let's make the sleeves match. I feel like it's a lot more wearable when the sleeves match. So yeah, crocheted sweater. I took notes on it. I didn't write up the pattern, but I do want to make another one of these because it's very comfortable. Dun, dun, dun. Works in progress. Okay, we just had a minor windstorm. I don't know, this wind is getting real rowdy these days. You're not helping me. You are not helping me be awesome. So, we've got 3 works in progress. The first I'm going to show you is my progress on my Prairie Winds shawl by Jayalakshmi. It is almost getting, no, it is too big for the needles now. So it's kind of crunched up. I only have a few more rows left of the increases in the stockinette section. There we go. So that's what the stockinette section looks like. And this little note here is how many stitches I need to have on this side before the lace border starts. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Ooh, I have 126 stitches on this side. I need 128. So after, when I come back, I might actually be done. I'm gonna have to consult the pattern to see if I need to do anything extra. Now, one thing that I am thinking about is this is actually really small, so I don't know, like I need to look at the pattern again and see how big the lace portion is and like what the finished measurements are, because I want it to be like not a huge shawl, but I want it to be big enough that I can like wrap it around. And like if I wear it to church or something like that, like I want it to actually give me warmth. Like I'm not really a shawlette kind of girl, but I think, I don't know, I'm gonna put it on some waist yarn so that I can actually spread out the stitches and see how big it really is. And y'all, I really love this yarn. This is so pretty. This is Oh Lucky You by Mitchell's Creations. Love it. Oh, I'm not gonna be able to. There you go. All right, son, you can go behind a cloud now. Anytime. Anytime. And of course, the wind is pushing the clouds this way, and there are no clouds over there. Not trying to help me. Not trying to help me. So yes, that is in progress. Oh, I wanted to show you my little progress keepers that I have going on here. This one is one that I made. This is the kind of charm that was going out with my Harry Potter bags. Each one was an owl with the appropriate house colors. I'm a Hufflepuff, so of course mine is black and yellow. And then here, this is a giraffe charm that I got from Busch Gardens when Lamar and I went the other week. And because we saw giraffes, I had to get a giraffe. I also got a cheetah and something else. I think both of those are on my next project, so I'll show you those. Was there anything else I wanted to say about that? Nothing else I wanted to say about the pattern. I mean, it's been straightforward so far, since I'm just in the stockinette phase, or the stockinette section. It's been straightforward, no hiccups, no questions, no nothing. So the next segment is going to be the heart-shaped lace edging, and that should be a whole lot of fun. The pattern is written for it all to be in one color, but what I think I want to do, I think that I want to, because I'm considering making it bigger, I need to figure out what the repeat is for the lace edging and see if maybe I can add in some extra on there and make the stockinette part the Oh Lucky You, and then the lace, I have this this green yarn from Birch Hollow Fibers, and I forget what the colorway is, but it's like a tonal green that I think will go really nicely with the Lucky You. And then I could do like just the edging in that green color, I think. I don't know. It really depends on how big this shawl would be with just the Lucky You. If it's going to be big enough with just the Lucky You, I'll just go ahead and do that. If I think it's going to be too small, then I will figure out how to add in that second color and make it bigger. Fingers crossed, y'all. Fingers crossed. My next work in progress is the Main Star Shawl. That one is by Zakia of Ladywing Designs and the Ladywing Crafts podcast. And the yarn that I'm using is hand spun yarn that was spun by Jade of So Perfect Purls podcast. So this is, I've made it to the second ball, which looks like that. This is hobbledehoy fibers in vintage bloom. I think I was always calling it vintage rose, and of course I don't know what I did with that tag. Is it in here? No? Because that would be too easy. No. Okay. So, the Main Star Shawl, it's another stockinette shawl. It's asymmetric, triangle shaped. You start at the tiny bit and you just increase. So I am through my first cake of this yarn and into the second. The first cake I finished right here. So I'm like one pattern repeat into using the second cake. And yeah, the last time you guys saw it, I think it was at this space. And this is another one of the progress keepers that I got at Busch Gardens. Let's see if you can see it. Yeah, it's a little tiger. So it was this long when you saw it last, and I have since done all of this. Now mind you, when you saw it last was like a month and a half ago, because I put this down because I was getting bored with it. But what the reason I have gotten so much work done on it is this week at my church, we've been having a youth week of prayer, and I just sit and I knit on this during the services. And because it's stockinette, I don't have to really look at what I'm doing. The only thing that I have to pay attention to is which row I'm on, as far as the increases go. This is a free pattern on Ravelry. So Zakia designed it to basically highlight that one special skein of yarn that you just like, you're like, oh, I don't know what I want it to be, but I want the yarn to shine. So it's a very simple pattern that highlights, that makes the yarn the main star. You see what she did there? But yeah. You know what this is reminding me of? This is reminding me of like those rock formations. What am I thinking? Like out in the desert? I don't know. Where you can see like all the different layers of whatnot and hoo-hoo. But yeah, that's kind of reminding me of that. I'll see if I can put a picture so you guys like don't like wonder what this crazy girl is talking about. But this has been my church knitting, and it's really coming along. So I've got that living in my sheet bag from Ash Love Makes. Oh, sheepies. I like it. I like it a lot. Is that all of my works in progress? Not really. So I showed you the finished bag that I have with the embroidery. I also did 2 more like pieces. Hey Kiva, can you get out of the bush, please? There could be snakes in there. You okay? I did 2 more pieces that I'm going to turn into bags. I did this one. It says who's its and what's its, primarily because I couldn't figure out what I wanted it to say. And I was like, well, what am I going to put in this bag? Stuff. I didn't want to put stuff on there. So who's its and what's its? I won't sing the song. But that's what the stitching looks like. This is what the back looks like. Wait. There you go. That's what the back looks like. And this is just some regular denim that I got at Walmart. This was my test because I wanted to make a bigger denim bag. Ooh, we got a cloud. I wanted to make a bigger denim bag, but the teacher wasn't sure that the machine was going to be strong enough to get through the denim, even though it's really thin. So that was the test. It went really well. And this is the bag that I'm going to be creating. And of course, I had to go with Refuse to Sink. I'm going to put, I don't know what color zipper, but it's going to have like a bright color zipper. I think I'm going to do a colorful lining because I never do colorful linings on my bags. I think I'm going to do a colorful lining. It's going to be a box bottom, and I'm really, really happy about this. So there's a close-up of it. And you can see like the threads that are like coming across because the machine is, how did it go? It went this way and then it came down and then did the sink. So I just have to go back and trim up all of these threads. And there's the back, which that white there, that's the bobbin thread. And it's basically just holding like the loop side to side. I really like how the back looks. So maybe I can figure out, like, maybe I can find a way to, like, design something like that. Because I feel like that font looks a lot better than this font, you know? Who knows? It's the artsy fartsy in me. But yeah, so I'm going to make this bag. One of the cool things that I found while I was in there for open sew, people were coming over to see what I was doing, and they were like, well, what does Refuse to Sink mean? Is that like your company motto or your logo or catchphrase or whatever like that? And I was basically explaining to them the idea of Refuse to Sink. So it was really cool to be able to share that with other people, like in real life. And I think like it's a great phrase, right? Piece of stink. I think that's all I have for works in progress. I really am getting hot now. Wearing a black shirt is not really helping the situation, but at least it's not a sweater anymore. So that's everything that I had in worker's progress, work in progress. The next section I have are my maker plans. These, of course, are up on maker plans for getting the bags finished. And the next piece I have for maker plans, it's not really a maker plan. It's not a maker plan. It's a mender plan. Last year, I made a pair of socks for a member of my church. And the reason that I made him this pair of socks is he is the first person who addressed me by my name at church. Like that wasn't like one of my friends that we hang out with, right? And for me, one, because my name is uncommon, it's rare for people to call me by my name and pronounce it correctly, like in general. And because I'm basically a transplant into this church. Like I have no family down here aside from my husband's family. And so everybody knows them. And then I'm the one who came in, right? So whenever people address me at church, more than likely it's Sister Lamar or Sister Ryan, or that's about it. Like I'm okay with like being called Sister Ryan because like that's my name, but more than likely people are going to be like, oh, Sister Lamar. Lamar's my husband. I'm Kalisha. But yeah, so he was the first person to address me by my name, pronounce it correctly and everything. And when he did that, it shocked me because I was like, he knows my name. Like he knows me, not like an extension of Lamar, you know? So he had said something to me and was like, can you make me a pair of socks? And I was like, sure. I just need like the measurement of your foot. And he was like, okay. So then he gave me the measurements of his foot and I made him a pair of socks. Now because these were man socks, two, because they were gift socks, and I'm not gonna be like, oh, here's some hand wash only socks. Nah. I used acrylic DK weight and I made black socks, so that is amazing in itself. And they are ribbed in the cuff. They're ribbed, and then they're ribbed along, oh wait, we can use the sun now. They're ribbed in the cuff and along the top of the foot. These look really good in the sun, guys. Like I'm really proud of myself. I made these. And I did a heel flap and gusset, just basically employing all of the tricks that I know to create a sock that is more than likely going to fit you without being able to have to try it on over and over again. So he brought them back to me because that happened. Now, did I mention that I used acrylic? He wore through acrylic socks. And I'm like, that's actually a very high compliment, because it takes a lot to wear out acrylic, and like he wore it out good. So I just need to figure out how to fix this. I don't know, guys. I feel like there should be a way to pick up the heel flap, because the heel flap itself is intact. It's just the heel turn. So in my mind, and I could be completely wrong. If you know how to mend socks, please help. Send help. But in my mind, I feel like I should be able to pick up the last stitch of the heel flap, and then the stitches on the other side of the heel turn, and then just re-knit a heel turn. Can I do that? I don't know. I don't know, guys. Or I might just patch it. I don't know. But this one is worn through completely. This one is going. Like, yeah, this one is going. I can see it. Can you see? Yeah, you can kind of see like a little bit of fraying there. So I just have to figure out how to fix these. Don't know. But that's going to be the big project. He was laughing because he was like, well, I'm glad I could give you a challenge. I was like, yeah, challenge accepted. I just have to figure out what's the best way to fix it and to make it so that it's like more solid, you know? So, I mean, I thought that acrylic was the way to go. So maybe I need to like patch them with Red Heart, because that was like one of the softer acrylic yarns, like for babies. So I think I'm going to, whatever I end up doing in the heel, I'm probably going to use like a Red Heart or like one of those like workhorse acrylic yarns, like apocalyptic acrylic. So yeah, so that's the only thing on maker plans. Stashquisitions, I have some books. I got a really awesome birthday gift from a viewer of the podcast. You know who you are, darling. She sent me these books from her Dollar Tree. Like, I don't know if my Dollar Tree just sucks or if I'm just, maybe I haven't been looking, I don't know. But she sent me this book, Totally Amazing Bags. Floral knits and big knits. Both of these are by Martin Storey, and they are really, like, the patterns in them are really beautiful. Let me show you real quick before the sun comes back out. Like, look at that. I think, like, I kind of want to make this one because I've never done any color work, and I think that will be fun. Look at those little mitts, fingerless gloves. Socks with baubles and cables. Socks with baubles and cables, y'all. So I looked through the Totally Amazing Bags one, and there are some totes in here that I want to try. Like, they're really cool, like, patterns and stuff in there. So thank you so much for these. And then I had gone to, where was I? Joann's? Yes. I got this from Joann's. Learn to make woven wall hangings, because, I mean, I'm playing around with weaving more, and while it's been, like, I've been able to find, like, tutorials online on how to do different stitches and stuff like that, I feel like it's good to have a book that will show you, like, the ways. And also, from my local library, I found this book, Weaving on a Little Loom, and I think I want to buy this because this book, it's really, really informative. Like, I was reading through it last night. And it's Weaving on a Little Loom, Techniques, Patterns, and Projects for Beginners by Fiona Daly. And there's, like, information on the yarn and how the yarn weaves up, how to project plan, how to design, how to create shapes. Like, this is a really, really good book for, like, beginners, and I'm just now jumping into this. And it also gives you like different projects that you can create. Like that's a placemat, pillow, a bag, a tote bag. Like, I want to learn all the things. So, thumbs up for those. That's everything for stash positions. Now, the last part of this episode today is life and whatnot. First, I wanted to mention the Out of the Darkness walk that I did in February. Back in February, one of my friends asked me to go to the Out of the Darkness suicide walk, or suicide awareness walk with her. And so it was one of those ones where like you're raising money for the cause and everything like that. So I put it out on Instagram, and I think I put it on Facebook. I linked it down below here. It's been linked in the down bar since doing the walk. But my initial goal was $50, and we were able to raise, as of yesterday, I think we're at $510. My initial goal was $50. You guys have helped raise $500 plus. So big thanks to you all. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for donating to this. There's some like pictures and footage and things on my Instagram, as well as I pretty much documented everything from the walk on Instagram, so you can definitely see those videos and pictures and stuff there. If you still want to donate, it's for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, and we're just raising money for the services that they provide. There is a link down below. It will be open until the end of March. So I think that's Sunday. I think Sunday is the last day of March. So if you want to donate, any amount helps. Everything helps. And if you are one of the wonderful people who have donated, thank you so much for absolutely obliterating my little tiny goal. Thank you. So that was the first thing that I wanted to mention in life and whatnot. So I guess that was the life part. And here's the whatnot. So our fiber community, our maker crafter community, has been doing a lot of talking and communicating, and because of these conversations, I feel like people have felt more able to express things that bother them, or things that make them feel uncomfortable in this space. And I think that people feeling able to communicate these things is only going to make our community stronger and better, and a better place for everybody that wants to be a part of it. So the most recent conversation or the dialogue that I have seen happening is behind the word bistitual. And people have used the word bistitual to indicate someone who knits and crochets. And it has come up or come out that everybody using that term is like, everybody using that term makes certain members of our community feel like we're making a pun out of their lived experience, and that's not something that, you know, we should want to do. And I was thinking about it, like when I first heard it, I was like, oh, okay. But then I started thinking about it, like I almost feel that it's like equivalent or what and what for like a person who is bisexual or a part of the LGBTQ community seeing someone who is not part of that community call themselves bisexual. Like, that feeling of them looking and being like, is the same kind of feeling that I get when I hear someone say, what's up my knitters, or knitter please. I kind of go, and, you know, if that doesn't make you feel like that, then hey, I can't make anybody do anything. But so that was the kind of like thought process that started this next thing that I'm about to tell you guys about. So I thought, okay, so if a word that is being used is harmful towards somebody, right? Or not even just somebody, a group of people. If it can be harmful towards a group of people, then I don't want to use that word, right? Just, it's not a life or death thing for me. Like, just don't use the word. Cool. But I was like, but I want a word that I can use that takes the place of like that idea, right? I want a word that can, like, an umbrella word that covers me as someone who does a lot of things, right? So I'm just gonna give you a heads up. I'm a bit of a word nerd. I geek out about words and stuff. If you've been watching for a while, you know that I write poetry. Like, I get excited about stuff like that. So, disclaimer. So I was like, all right, well, let's Google what's a word for someone who does a lot of things. And I got this list. There were words on there like pétanque, polymath. Of course, things like versatile were on there. There was a word that I loved, which was omnicompetent. And I was like, I think I want that to be the thing. Like, an omnicompetent crafter. Like, that's what we are. If you are a crafter who is skilled or who does a bunch of different crafts, you are an omnicompetent crafter. So, as much as I loved that, that is way too long for a hashtag. Hashtag omnicompetent crafter. Nah, nobody's going to use that. So I wrote that down. And then I thought, okay, what about omnicrafter? So I put those together and I was like, okay, I kind of like that. Omnicrafter is still the same idea, but it's shorter. And so I went on Instagram to see if that hashtag was in use. It is in use, and I kind of didn't want to like usurp somebody's hashtag. So I wrote that down and I kept going. So when I say I kept going, what I do when I'm trying to either create a word or to name a thing, I tend to like break it down to like little bits, right? So then I thought, okay, so we are creators. So let me look at the word creator and see what the roots or the origin of the word creator are. This is where I get nerdy, y'all. Stay with me. So I went to see what I took the word creator and I went to the thesaurus to look up different words that mean creator. One of the words that came up was architect. And an architect doesn't have to just be someone who does, architecture. It's essentially someone who creates. An architect, you can be an architect in any kind of area. So I was like, what is the end of that word, tect? What does tect mean? Tect is not actually a suffix, but when I was looking at the word architect, it broke it down to its Greek root. And the tect part in architect in Greek is tekton. And a tekton is essentially a person who creates basically with their hands. So it specifically was talking about people who create with wood or like carpenters or stonemasons, things like that. But then, as all words do, a tekton started to incorporate more types of creators. So you could be a tekton creator of blah, blah, blah. So I was like, okay, I love this idea of a tekton. So we got tekton for creator. And then I was like, I want a creator of all things. So we have Omnitekton. And y'all, my wordy mind exploded a little bit. This is like 1 a.m. and I was like, ah! So needless to say, there is no hashtag for Omnitekton. And I am going to start using that on all the things. So if you are a person who knits and crochets or weaves and paints and you create in all of these different ways, you are an Omnitekton. And another thing that I love about this word is omni is Latin, tekton is Greek. As creators, we are not bound by the boxes that like convention wants to put us in, right? Like, this is a word that's created from 2 different languages, but the idea of the word is what I want to embody, or how I view myself as a creator, as an all-around creator, as an Omnitekton. So if you are down for this word, down for this hashtag, feel free to use it. I'm so geeked about it. I love it. Like, that may be the next thing I embroider on something, Omnitekton. So thumbs up, guys. That's everything. That is everything that I have for you today. I know I just started talking really fast because I got excited about the words. I hope you stuck with me. I hope you saw like my like process in coming to this word. Like, I loved it. It was great. You guys see how excited that word just made me. Like, but yes, that's everything for today. Thank you guys so much for spending some time with me. I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful weekend. I hope March was great for you. If it wasn't such a great month, here's to trying it again in April. Thank you guys so much for being a part of my universe. And leave a comment down below of something positive that happened to you. If you want me to share it in our Bright Spot segment, let me know in that comment. That's everything, y'all. Thanks for being here. Bye. Peace.